All right. Hey guys, my name is Will Carroll. I'm a sophomore here at U of SC. I'm from Wisconsin. I'm actually right here in Wisconsin right now. And the topic I am going to be speaking about today is the legalization of marijuana in the state of Wisconsin and how it would benefit us and the lawmakers and the state legislatures that would have to pass this. So, first of all, I'm just going to get into the status of marijuana legalization in Wisconsin right now. And these stats are from an article in normal.org. So, when it comes to possession of marijuana in Wisconsin, the first offense with any amount, there's no minimum amount, which is actually very common in a lot of states. But in Wisconsin here, it can be any amount of marijuana on your person. It's automatically a misdemeanor with up to 6 months in jail and a max fine of $1,000. And then any repeat offense of just possession is an automatic felony with up to 3.5 years in jail and a max fine of $10,000. When it comes to sale or cultivation, any amount found on you selling or cultivating is a minimum of or a maximum of 3.5 years to 15 years and fines go up to $50,000. And if you're found breaking any marijuana laws, that can result in you losing your driver's license for up to 5 years. So I compared this to Indiana just because it is a pretty similar state. It's also Midwestern, rural, and it also has marijuana as an illegal drug. So even with a prior drug offense, the maximum amount is 30 grams, and that is only a misdemeanor. And with that, that's only 1 year in jail, which is a 2.5 year difference and no fine. And then when it comes to sale or cultivation, that is a maximum jail sentence of 6 years with only a $10,000 fine. So that is a 9 year difference from Wisconsin and a $40,000 difference. So now I'm going to talk about why certain lawmakers believe weed should be illegal still. So I looked at an article written by CNBC News that focused on the negative aspects of marijuana and the beliefs surrounding it. And this article stated that weed users have a problem and that it believes jail is a successful tool in helping them with their addiction. It also believes that drug-impaired traffic deaths would increase if any state was to legalize marijuana, which some already have. And it sees marijuana as a drug that will, and I quote, corrupt the youth. So I'm going to right now just counter all three of those points with statistics and my opinion. So first is jail time will not help someone get over their addiction to marijuana, especially here in Wisconsin with sending someone to jail for 3.5 years simply for being caught with marijuana on their person twice in their life and a $10,000 fine. That is not a positive help at all. That's going to set their life back 3.5 years. They're going to lose $10,000. They're going to be digging themselves out of that hole for years to come. That will not help you. Second is with the traffic deaths. And this is according to procon.org. Traffic deaths actually dropped 11% in states that legalize medical marijuana. So once again, that just debunks what they're saying. And DUIs in the states of Colorado and Washington, which were the first two states to legalize marijuana, have decreased since they've done so. And when it comes to the younger generations and youth use of marijuana, University of Washington conducted some research, and it actually found that marijuana use is decreasing in young people, and that applies also in Washington and Colorado since they've legalized it. So once again, the legalization will not increase. If anything, research has found the opposite. It will decrease the use of young generations and marijuana. So now some positives that have happened in states that have legalized it and that would most likely follow suit in Wisconsin if Wisconsin legislature does pass it. So as found by MPP, and the MPP is an organization that tries to create humane laws that have to do with the legalization of marijuana. Both Colorado and Washington collected $300 million each in 2019 in tax revenue based off of marijuana sales. So this funding, if we were to legalize marijuana and benefit in tax revenue in Wisconsin, lawmakers could use this funding towards school system, helping the poor, helping the homelessness situation, which is prevalent in Milwaukee, or much more. And it also, marijuana legalization increases job opportunities. So once marijuana was legalized in Colorado, 43,000 new jobs opened up, which is 43,000 people that went from having no job or a minimum wage job to now having a steady income because marijuana can be sold and distributed. And with these 43 jobs, it resulted in over $1 billion in sales in Colorado in 1 year alone. And with these two positives, as a result, Colorado and Washington have two of the top three economies in the 50 states when it comes to state economies. So other than the economic situation, it also would help the police forces. So with the decriminalization or legalization of weed, police officers no longer have to spend time wasting their days just responding to every marijuana related call. And it also saves taxpayers money. But in the legalized states, police departments have actually reported higher rates of solving violent crimes because they aren't spending time out of their day driving to see two kids who got called the cops on for smoking weed. They actually can sit down and focus on the important crimes. Also, with the taxpayer situation, federal enforcement of marijuana costs taxpayers billions of dollars every year. In a 2013 statistic, which is now 7 years old, it was over $3 billion. And that number has just increased since then. So legalizing it would decrease how much the taxpayers need to pay in something that doesn't really help them. So lastly is Wisconsin would not be a pioneer with this. Americans and American government has shown that it's time to legalize marijuana. So as ABC stated in one of their most recent articles, 5 states on election day actually passed the legalization of marijuana. So this brings it up to 16 states in total that have legalized it. So that just solidifies the idea that the longer Wisconsin waits and pushes this off, the more it's going to lose in revenue, tax revenue, sales revenue, everything. And the more innocent people, simply for having marijuana on their person, are going to face up to 3.5 years and a $10,000 fine for something that is so commonplace in our country nowadays. So all in all, my point is that if Wisconsin state legislature votes to legalize marijuana, it will not only improve its economy, it will help its police force, and it will help its citizens that are wrongfully being thrown into prison for something that is not a very serious, like, encroachment. So that is my speech. I'm going to open it up to discussion. If you guys have any questions, just shoot, I guess.
So do you know if people in jail right now, if they legalized marijuana in Wisconsin, would they get released or would they like stay?
So I know in some states after they've legalized it, they have gotten released. I'm pretty sure that would stand to be the case in Wisconsin too. So that would automatically just save so many people like years off of their life, which I think is a huge aspect. Yeah, Judah.
Yeah, that just reminded me. I remember I did a research project on this, and I found out that on December 31st, 2019, so the day before marijuana was legalized in Illinois, the governor of Illinois actually pardoned I think it was like over 11,000 people who had marijuana crimes. So I think so. Yeah. So you said you think that would probably be the case for Wisconsin, which is now a blue state like Illinois.
Yeah. So I think that would just be huge because, like you said, that was the first day or the day before it even got legalized. That's 11,000 people who that is affecting their life drastically. And then that doesn't even mention like the years to come with how many people that will save and even money. Because, I mean, keeping 11,000 people in jail, that costs a lot of money for taxpayers to be putting that. And we're paying all of those facilities and those guards and the prisons to keep like the heat on and everything, especially in Wisconsin because it's cold all the time. But yeah, so then I actually have a question. So when I was doing research, I found that there's a lot of debate on whether legalization should be a state matter or a federal matter. And I was just kind of wondering like what your guys' opinion is on that. Like, should it be up to each individual state, or do you think like the United States should legalize it?
I think it should be up to like the whole country, not federally, because there will be so many states that are just like super conservative, will never get that passed, and they'll just wait forever. Whereas if you just do it federally, like they can't do anything about it.
Okay. Reed, did you want to say something?
I think it should be statewide because I feel like it's more individualized that way and has the power of the people in that state to decide whether that should be reinforced or not.
Okay, I agree with both of those things actually, because with what Reed said, I think statewide, like you should have a say, like what goes on in your state. But then also with like what Jake said, I like that too, because like let's say I'm from at like let's say like Wisconsin legalizes it, and then I buy some here, and like I go to a state that it isn't legal, and it just like I don't even think about it. Like that is what could be a problem with me, like have like with it being statewide, because like I could face charges then simply because like oh like in the back of my mind it's legal just because it's legal where I'm from. So I really don't know which one it should be. I can see arguments for either. But I think that was just around 5 minutes. Thank you all for listening. I'll talk to you guys soon.